The history theme of Sonic Mega Collection is the perfect backing track to signify the end of another glorious and painful E3. Okay, so since E3 is now over and done with, I figured it would be the perfect time to rank them all, and thankfully Tier Maker exists. Okay, so let's just get into it. First of all. Alright, so let's see here. We got Xbox, Bamco, Gearbox, PC Gamer, Sony. Sony wasn't even there. I don't know why this would be here. Devolver Digital, E3 as a whole, Take-Two, Capcom, Squeenix, Nintendo, Ubisoft, and Summer Games Fest. Okay. I'm just gonna put this under skipped. Because that's, let's face it, that's basically me. I skipped some presentations because they weren't that important to me. Or I caught them a little bit and nothing seemed, you know, particularly interesting. So I'm gonna put Gearbox here. I'm gonna put PC Gamer here. Maybe I should add just like an additional tier. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a row below saying Sony won by not showing not showing up. No, wait, that's not it. That's skipped. And then Sony won by adding not showing up. Yeah, there we go. At the very least, like, they missed out on, you know, being terrible. Actually, I don't know if they were even that way, because they just released their big blockbuster for the PS5, FF7 Intergrade. Yeah. Take-Two I skipped. I think that's it. Like, I think that's it for this particular list. I'll talk about the other conferences and where I would rank them. No, I can't add that. Okay. All right then. But I'll just talk about the other conferences that I saw when I get done with ranking these. I think you pretty much know who won and which one lost based on my Twitter feed. But I'm gonna go through them anyway, in order by day. Summer Games Fest, I did watch. Like, I did watch, like, when they were, like, right in the middle of it. And the fact that we get Elden Ring as an actual video game is really cool. Like, Elden Ring looks so cool. Like, I can't wait to actually get my hands on it. I don't particularly remember anything else that they showed at the presentation. I know there was a new Metal Slug game announced there. I know Tales of Arise showed up. Trying to think, what else did they... I can't think of anything else that they didn't that they showed. Like, I can't think of anything else they showed. But what I enjoyed was pretty okay. So I'm basically putting it in mid tier. So, you know, it was good. It was good. But yeah. Anyway, Ubisoft Forward. I know where I'm putting this. I know why I'm putting this, like, immediately. Because, God, that was such a terrible show. Like, I don't know why, like, Ubisoft continues to, like, make shows for games we know. Like, and games that we know are coming. Like, they showed 20 minutes of Rainbow Six with aliens. And I'm like, okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Why are you spending 20 minutes? Like, if you spend 20 minutes on a game in the middle of a big press conference, especially in a time-limited press conference, then you're doing something wrong. You really are doing something wrong. And none of the other stuff, aside from Mario and Rabbids and Rocksmith Plus, I really did care about. But even then, even though I didn't really know what those were. I mean, Mario and Rabbids, I obviously know, but, you know, Rocksmith, I think it's cool as a learning tool. I don't know about that subscription service thing and everything, but, you know, we'll see. But as someone who doesn't play guitar, like, I'm happy for the people who get to play guitar. But in terms of me, I'm just like, okay, that's cool. Let's move on to the next one. Oh god, it's Just Dance. And like the fact that they have no Wii version. Why do you not have a Wii version? That would literally make it perfect, but no. Apparently they don't. Apparently they don't do that anymore. So the Wii is officially dead. Thanks. Thank you, Ubisoft, for not making me give a crap. Yeah, but really, I could care less about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I could care less about Riders Republic. I could care less about, like, most of the other stuff there. Like, Mario and Rabbids was really the interesting thing to me because it's something I know. We're in that cycle where if it's something that I don't know, then it's not interesting to me, so that's a downgrade. So, sorry, Ubisoft. You're the worst. You are the worst. Which leads me into Xbox. So, I have a feeling that Xbox has probably the third best. Yeah, I will have to say, like, third best. Because of the sole fact that I think there was a little bit too much shooting games. Like, I don't mind my first-person shooters, but if they were going to focus on them, then why didn't they focus on them to begin with? Like, for real. I'm glad that Halo Infinite is finally becoming a thing. I'm glad that Forza is looking actually kind of unreal. Like, I was watching the conference with my buddies, and we couldn't believe that Forza 5 was a real game. Like, it looks so unreal. It looks so ungodly good. Like, we were thinking they were like real life photos. It really just goes to show you that gaming tech has come like a really, really long way, and the environments can look even better than ever, like almost like real life. Like if Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't already enough to make like really good versions of live action characters in the Pirates world, then Forza 5 can definitely make real life environments look so damn good. And there's a bowling mode in Forza 5, so that was awesome. You know what's gonna suck, but that trailer was gonna be cool? Battlefield. Yeah, the trailer for Battlefield was like kind of insane. Like it really was. Like the Battlefield trailer, you were like fighting like all these dudes in like a city environment, and then there was like ships and stuff, and there was like rockets everywhere, and then there was like weather, and you get to like plow vehicles into like flying vehicles. It was kind of badass. The game's not gonna be like that. Let's be real, the game's not gonna be like that. But that trailer though did a good job of selling it. And it's coming out this year, and the footage was like pre-alpha, which is like strange, but okay. The Outer Worlds 2 trailer though, that was weird. I think me and my friends agreed that that was probably one of the worst trailers, but the fact that it was Outer Worlds 2, it was like, what? I mean, Don't get me wrong, Outer Worlds is amazing. It's such a good game. And I'm down for more Outer Worlds. But, like, did it really need, like, a trailer that was like, oh, hey, look at this. We're being self-aware. And you can be self-aware and be funny, but for Outer Worlds 2, I'm just like, what? Kind of a weird trailer to announce your sequel to one of the better games of 2018 or 19 or whatevs. I keep checking back to my OBS because I want to make sure that audio balance is all good. But, yeah, actually, let me loop this. Yeah, but Outer Worlds 2. What a weird trailer, but I'm down. I'm down for Outer Worlds 2. So that's on my radar. If it's not next gen, please don't let it be like next gen because nobody can find like an Xbox. Stalker 2 was great. I'm trying to think what else was there. Like on the top of my head, that's all I could think about on the top of my head, but the presentation was pretty good. Like, a lot of games are coming to Xbox Game Pass, like, day one, too. And the Bethesda stuff... yeah, speaking of which, the Bethesda stuff. Glad that Elder Scrolls Online is getting more stuff, I suppose. I'm kind of sad there was no, like, Doom or Wolfenstein news, because those two are the best ones. Skyrim is reaching 10 years old, which is sad. Starfield, we only had like a 2-minute CG trailer for it. Which I'll never understand companies and their CG trailers. What else was there? There was no Elder Scrolls 6. Fallout 76 is still a thing, I guess. And most of the Bethesda categories on Game Pass, so that's cool. That's cool. I even saw that they have the classic Fallout, so that was good. That was great. But yeah, Xbox did good. Xbox did good, as they always do. Now for Squeenix, I really had to think about hard which one was worse. Okay, so Ubisoft and Squeenix had the distinct honor of being the two worst ones. Because in a Squeenix presentation, you would think that they would not focus on Guardians of the Galaxy for like 20 minutes. And that Guardians game honestly just feels like another Avengers game, which, why are they still like doing Avengers content when clearly that game is just kind of average at best, I hear. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I like me my Guardians of the Galaxy, but they didn't need to spend 20 minutes on it. And the ratio between, like, Marvel and their other Squeenix franchises was kind of gross. They spend well over half of the conference on Marvel stuff. And they could just save that for another show. The Squeenix Presents could have been without Marvel and we would miss nothing. However, they did have a few stuff that I actually do care about. The Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters is really neat because now we actually have proper versions of Final Fantasy 1 through 6 all in a collection or sold individually. And while that is cool, I highly doubt they'll stay on Steam and phones for long. They'll go to consoles. They will go to consoles. Final Fantasy Origin looks pretty neat. Like sort of a action-packed Dark Souls type game. What else? I know for a fact that they had other things there. Okay, now I'm just cheating by going to the actual picture. But yeah, look at this. Look at this. From the intro all the way to Guardians, that was like 18 minutes. Pixel Remaster, Legend of Mana, which I know I'm already getting. Avengers, Hitman Sniper, blah, 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 blah. Babylon's Fall, blah, 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 blah. Life is Strange, blah, 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 blah. And then that, okay. Okay. So, at the very least, Square Enix did like a few interesting things. So I'm gonna call them second worst. I'm sorry, but Ubisoft, I just didn't care. I only watched it for the sake of watching it. At least I knew what I was getting into with Squeenix, but Ubisoft was just terrible. I really had to think about which one was like the top 2 worst. And I would have to say like Ubisoft definitely takes my top spot as the worst. Because I just didn't care. And Squeenix, even though it had some interesting things, I was just like, no. You don't spend more than 20 minutes on a Marvel game. I'm sorry. But you don't. Anyway, Devolver Digital, that had me smiling like a dork, so that gets the A position. Yeah, that gets the A position for me, because that was just a joy to see. That was really a joy. I really, really liked the digital Devolver Digital presentation a lot. Like, they continued that tradition from the other E3s where they have, like, a cinematic universe, but this time around, they actually did pitch it, that whole thing as a movie. And that whole thing was just, it was great. It was really great. Like I said, it had me smiling like a dork. As for the games, Shadow Warrior 3, I'm like, dude, this is bootleg Doom and I love it. Trek to Yomi, I wish this was current gen because it looks so cool. It looks like a 2D Ghost of Tsushima. What else was there? Oh wait, Death Throttle, yeah. Death Throttle being a Switch physical exclusive to a website is kind of weird, but the game looks great. The game looks really good, like sort of like a weird Ikari Warriors type. Yeah, Ikari Warriors except good. And I like me my bullet hells from time to time, so yeah, I'm down. I'm down. But yeah, that whole thing with Digital Devolver was so good. It was so good, and I can't wait to see what they would pull off next year. So that is awesome. Devolver Digital is just too great for this world. Bandai Namco I skipped. I don't know if I said it in this recording or not because this is actually a second take, but Bandai Namco actually only had like one game to show, and they updated their schedule for that, even though they didn't update it before with other ones. Apparently it was a game called House of Ashes, and like people just didn't like realize that it was just one game. Like they updated their schedule like probably like last minute maybe, so it was just like that one took the spot as the worst, even though they clearly said what they would show. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of glad that Nintendo took precedence over that day. So no, I didn't see Bandai Namco. As for Capcom, I'll put it as C. Okay, so allow me to explain. I see people mad at Twitter being like, oh, Capcom was the worst. Why didn't you show off anything new? And I'm like, they literally said everything that they would show in their announcement tweet. You should know what to expect. They announced their DLC for Resident Evil Village. They have more Monster Hunter stories and new Rise stuff coming in. They finally showed off gameplay for Great Ace Attorney. And they talked about esports for Street Fighter V for some reason. you should know what to expect. They literally said they would only show off those games, and that's it. If you really expected more, then I'm sorry. You're doofuses. Like, the fact that they were at least honest with it makes it better than Squeenix by far, because I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter Stories. I'm getting the demo of that, which is coming out June 25th. And I'm probably going to do, like, a first 30 on it. Monster Hunter Rise, I already have, but I haven't, like, played it yet. I've seen more of Resident Evil Village, so I know that game's popping off right now. And the fact that they have DLC coming is pretty good. It's pretty neat. Like, I'm ready to see what else Resident Evil Village has to offer. If I'm not going to play it, because let's face it, I'm barely going to play this game at all. I've seen too much. And, yeah. Yeah. That was the thing. Okay, so before I get into the Nintendo and how they were clearly the best, I'm going to talk about limited run games and where I would place it. I would place it probably like A or B. Yeah, probably like A, honestly, because that one was a really, really good conference too. Like, really, all they did was show off like games that were coming to physical, but they did it in their own unique style, which I liked, just like all the other ones too. And they announced some pretty cool things in there too. They announced some pretty cool things in there. They okay, so I have a list right here. So they have Zombies Ate My Neighbors and Ghoul Patrol. I'm glad that Super Hot's coming to physical. Yeah. Double Dragon in Kunio-kun, I suppose. River City Girls in the prequel. Strife Vet Edition, which gimme. That Shantae collection all in one, but it's only for PS5 for some reason. Blood Rain Remaster looks pretty cool. Haven, I really want to play that. Skatebird is going to be great. Well, of course, this game is already known for a little bit now, but I can't wait for Skatebird. Let's see. Axiom Verge 2. Okay. You know, this is actually kind of funny. They announced a physical version of Ruby Grim Eclipse right when I was thinking of watching the show for the summer, which is kind of amazing, timing. The thing that honestly surprised me the most was not really Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, but they announced a physical release for Castlevania Requiem, Rondo of Blood, and Symphony of the Night for PS4. But they also announced a TurboGrafx 16 copy for Rondo of Blood. And apparently I think it's localized too, so that's pretty neat. That's so good. And of course, there's Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. If you can think of any reveal that had me going, what the hell? This is it. Yeah, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties was like, ooh. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was something else. Let me just say, it was something else. Like, for real, it was. But yeah, I would put limited run games right here, like in A tier, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Okay, and that just leaves the best one. In fact, I'm gonna put this as its own tier, Nintendo tier. Because clearly they had the best one. They clearly had the best one. So where do I begin with this? Where do I begin? So first, Tekken is coming to Smash with Kazuya. Then you have Nintendo bringing back their beloved stuff. Like Mario Party's actually coming back for real with online play ready from the get-go. Even though Super Mario Party exists, but people already forgot about it. There was WarioWare. Yes. New Metroid Dread, which I don't know how that reaction video is popping off, but it did, and I'm pretty excited for Metroid Dread. Like, the thing that I didn't even mention in that, while I was being all myself with that reaction video, was the fact that I really dig the art style. It looks indie, but it looks really correct for the Metroid series in that style. I'm really glad that the development team for Samus Returns is coming back for this game, because apparently Samus Returns popped off, and that was awesome. Danganronpa coming to the Switch. I'm really curious to see how Dragon Ball Z Kakarot can run. There was... Okay. Advance Wars coming back. So that was like... What, like 3 franchises? 3? Yeah, Advance Wars looks clean. The Advance Wars 1 and 2 remasters looks clean. And actually no, let me look this up, because this has to be. Yeah, see right here, the Advance Wars. That looks so clean. Looks really clean. And of course you have Breath of the Wild 2, which I'm kind of like not too crazy about the fact that they didn't give us a title. But at the very least they gave us a date for it. And hey, if they got a date, that's all that matters. That's really all that matters to me, is that they have a window for next year. So yeah, they clearly won. Nintendo clearly won that E3. And they knew how to do it right. The pacing for that direct was really good. They didn't spend too much time on one game. At most they probably spent under like 5 minutes, or just about 5 minutes on a game. So yeah, the pacing was really good. They got a lot of stuff out coming to the Switch. And the fact that we got like more first party stuff now is great. Nintendo wins E3. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. So, all in all, this was a pretty good one. Or maybe like a pretty mid one. I'm not entirely sure, but there it is. Because, well, 2 of the biggest ones, like, these were such a letdown. Capcom, at the very least, they were honest. Summer Games Fest I only missed part of before I decided to jump in. I couldn't really care less about any of these. Well, Sony won clearly because they didn't show up, but for the purposes of this conversation, Nintendo won E3 because they had the best one. Very well paced, a lot of good stuff announced. Really good. Xbox did good. It's going to be impossible to get a Series S or X. Digital Devolver was great. Limited run games, again, they would go here. And yeah. I'm just very happy that this E3 happened. I'm very happy. Like, E3 is always such a good time, whether or not we admit it. E3 is always a good time. Well, we like to crap on E3, but really, we're here for the games. And in the end, that's all that matters to me. The games. Squeenix and Ubisoft didn't have the video games, but Nintendo clearly has the video games, and since that's my home turf, I'm very happy. And, yeah. So all in all, this E3 was pretty okay. Well, at least for me. But I'm glad that Digital Devolver, Limited Run Games, and Xbox and Nintendo carried this E3. Yep. I didn't really know what else to say before that cut, but I'm just going to say, yep. And we're going to move on from this. We're going to move on. So yeah, these are all the E3 rankings. These were all of them. Once again, Limited Run will go here. And what else? What else did I see? Oh yeah, the other thing. I don't know which other thing I'm talking about, but yeah. Anyway, that's it. I will see you guys next year for E3, which I'll probably do the same thing there. See you guys later.